All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DreamHack Malmö North American Closed Qualifiers. We are in the very first stage, starting off in a round of 16 bracket. I think the game is a little loud. Apologies for that. If it is not, feel free to let me know. So this is the first round of, I believe, a round of 16. So we have 16 teams participating, trying to push forward to the very edge of this one in order to qualify for the DreamHack Malmö main event. We have some notable teams in here. A bit of a lack of some Tier 1 North American teams. I saw Team Liquid in there, but other than that, it is a lot of teams coming in from like the premier level and whatnot. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone's going to be able to smite the giant that awaits at the top seed in the bracket that is Team Liquid. As you can tell, that we are very much not covering Team Liquid at the start here. We're going to be checking out the Miami Flamingos, who are a team that have had quite a decent amount of hype behind them as of late, and they'll be taking on mouseSpaz. Now, mouseSpaz, as well as a name that if you've been following North American CS for a while, you probably know who they are. They've had quite a few very well-known players on that roster in the past, especially before some of the bigger orgs came into the scene in NA. Like CLG and whatnot, which I think actually is what that old mouseSpaz roster eventually went on to become. But we're trailing off here as we are live in the pistol round. So let's get to it right off at the start here. Cosby with a nice weight and useless room gets himself the double kill at the beginning, taking down Wishoro, just taking down Wishoro along with Tootin. So already 2 players down, and mouseSpaz also took quick control of the bomb site. So Miami Flamingos not looking too great as they already have to go for a 3v5 retake, although Marky, with a nice first shot, gets himself back into the fray. And the rest of the team is going to be able to try and push their way back in, too. Now, they have a lot of guys in A main trying to watch for a flank. Max holds off for one, but the other 2 successfully did get in. They retook the site, and now Johnny Boy moving in. He's also going to be able to get aggressive, pushing in for 1 kill. They need 2 more, but they've been pushed off the bomb now. Stopped on the defuse, and it's stuck down to a 2v1 with just Tommy trying to clutch this one out. He's out of time. He does have that kit, but we're way past that 5-second point, and now he's probably going to die to the explosion anyway. Tries to take that 1 extra duel to get a little bit of cash, but it does not pan out. In fact, he does go down to Pill Cosby. And that is going to allow for mouseSpaz to pick up the first round there. And I think Pill Cosby, or that second to last player on mouseSpaz that died at the very end, did manage to get that extra $300 or whatever from that last kill. But he did go down. Not too big of a deal, though, as it is the pistol round. And they're going to immediately rebuy here in the second round anyway. The map choices, as far as those were concerned, made pretty relative sense here. As far as the maps are concerned, though, just looking at it from an experience point of view here, since obviously these teams have not had a whole lot of experience playing in like big Tier 1 lands or anything like that, Flamingos probably has the edge in my eyes based off of the way that the vetoes went. mouseSpaz's best map probably would have been to try and get over towards like Train or something like that, considering that they beat Mythic on that a couple weeks ago. But I think that was like the first or second ban from the Flamingos, if I'm remembering the ban properly. So that got knocked out pretty quickly and then left Cash open, which, you know, it's a North American team on mouseSpaz, so no surprises there that they try to go for that one. That's, you know, with the plug map and everything like that. So of course they're probably going to put up a pretty decent fight here too. But the Flamingos have a pretty good standing record on Cash, so that doesn't mean they're not going to be able to fight on it either. And already Flamingos picking up that first kill. Responses coming out from mouseSpaz as they do look to try and get themselves down into the site, with beautiful deagle shots from Marky as he holds the line, brings us down into now what is a 1v2.
Trying to overcomplicate it, Shake.
That's still on.
But we just need to group up.
I'll turn that up.
After we wait for pushes.
Turismo, the last one alive. This is actually going to be a pretty nice clutch if you can pull this one off. 17 HP, out in the open, gets the first kill already against Wishoro, and now it's just Tommy left alive. The Molly in a decently respectable position. The problem is, though, is that Turismo still thinks he's inside of Squeaky when he's way out from A main, and Tommy is indeed going to be able to close out on that final kill, giving the Flamingos the trade round and bringing it immediately up to 1-1, and that's going to send the mouseSpaz economy right down the drain. So let me turn those voices off. There we go. No, apologies for that. But yeah, tying it up 1-1, and now the everlasting choice for mouseSpaz here. Do we force up into this one and go for just a crazy trading spree back and forth, or risk messing up our economy big time, or do we immediately kind of go into a save and give them a little bit more respect since they did get that trade round? And it is seeming like mouseSpaz are going to take the latter option of those two, and just buy pretty preserved, actually really preserved in this third round. You can see just 3 pistol upgrades. Maddox and Pill Cosby didn't buy anything at all. And we have that 1 Tech 9, but great position being taken up here. Already 1-2 kills. They do trade that back, however. There's more presence within the site till Tommy doesn't want to fight it too aggressively, so he's going to let mouseSpaz in. They can probably get a plan off this too, as the rotates are only just now arriving. And you can see players like Shake Zula sneaking back in. The Flamingos are not going to read into that. So Shake Zula sneaks in 1 extra frag. And keep in mind, there's probably between a $1,000 to $2,000 investment at max for mouseSpaz here in this round. So This is getting quite a bit for quite a little. Marky trading that back. Eventually, it's looking like Flamingos are, going to be able to win out the round. But 2 kills in a plant. mouseSpaz will take that every day on that kind of buy. And now the only question is, oh yeah, they have plenty of cash now, so mouseSpaz is going to have no problem whatsoever rebuying into this 4th round here. Just that one nice save, they got the plan, and that put them pretty much over the limit for being able to full buy here. Not even going to be limited on utility or anything like that. You can see a lot of mollies, a lot of HE grenades coming into the picture there, so the Flamingos need to get ready, as there's going to be an immediate execution coming in from them here. As soon as they set up for it, mouseSpaz are a little bit slower now all of a sudden. They've been pretty gung-ho before. But I think in this first gun run, they probably want to take it a little bit more naturally. This is just that fairly standard opener that you see pretty much every team use on this map. We've got Max scouting over in the B halls, looking for anybody that'll get aggressive there. He might actually get himself in a fight in a second here if he peeks out in those halls. There's CT's trying to play around with checkers and the boost up into vents right now. Marky's definitely the key player here inside of those vents since mouseSpaz is going to go out. Great flashbang, and there you go. Marky into the open, gets one. Knows there's a second one close by, so sticks around to contest it, and he gets the kill. So there you have it already. 1v2. He wants that AK. He's being a little bit careful, though, as he can't get that thing too easily. Doesn't want to peek directly into it, and for good reason, as there is still one more player waiting to challenge him in a second. Phil Cosby trying to decide if he wants to check for the white box or not. But meanwhile, on the site, nice shots coming out from Tootin. He gets himself 2 more kills onto the counter there, leaving just Phil Cosby alive in a 1v5 scenario. Beautifully held by the Flamingos. Great trap set up there from Marky. And then at the end, the remaining players from mouseSpaz try to scramble themselves into A main, where they just get killed by a player up on top of Shroud spot, and it allows Phil Cosby in this seemingly impossible spot. Gets a nice 2 kills at the end, but nowhere near close to clutching out the actual 1v5, so the Flamingos are still going to take it 3-1 as they set themselves up for a nice early lead here. And as for mouseSpaz, they're going to have to go on recovery, as they have not built up that full losing bonus just yet, winning the first pistol and then dropping the following rounds. They are still on their 3rd round losing bonus, so they are not going to be able to infinitely buy until they get to that max 5 rounds. And assumably they're going to need some plants in order to keep that going too. Flamingos good reads into the situation. Already pretty much is rolling right into A main. Look at this flashbang. Just completely destroyed their vision here. Although it hasn't destroyed the player count. Max is able to trade out both the frags that the CT's also got. And now Johnny trying to hold on. He actually doesn't have a rifle currently. He's only got a P250. Doesn't seem to matter though, as he picks up at least one more frag. Ematic's looking for the trade here as he swings out, gets one, getting a second possibly. He knows Johnny's in that smoke somewhere. However, Shuro's coming in to try and assist with this a little bit as he picks up the trade on the Turismo, leaving only Ematic's alive. But Ematic can absolutely clutch this right now. It all comes down to the positioning. I don't know if they're 100% certain that he's sitting behind quad just yet. Ooh, he's got to be really careful with that peek. Thankfully, Shuro is still behind shed right now, so he's not going to get great vision onto him. This all depends on if that player at highway decides to go for the peek. If not, Ematic's can sneak right away here, get that first pickup for free, and now it's just about spotting out the highway guy. As Shuro tries to sneak around. He hears those footsteps, so he knows he's going towards B right now. Ematic's is for sure going to get the plant. As Shuro, there's no way he's going to be able to chase him down in time. To get back over to the site. Ematic's actually going for a pretty ballsy plant, too, considering the fact that he revealed himself, and he might just die here. He's not covered, but he got past the doorway just in time, so he's still okay. Now the question is oh, they don't even check for each other. So Ematic's got all the way back over here in a checkers, and now even in a team main, and he's got this perfect plant spot. This will be a beautiful 1v2 if he succeeds in it. Ushiro's really got one clutch chance to try and save himself here. The only benefit he has is that health pool right now. There's the first tap, not a stick, nicely read by Ematic's, not going for the peek out just yet to try and actually stop that. He knows it's a fake. The second one, now he knows it's real, but that flick from Ushiro, beautifully done. And I think he should just have the 10 seconds of trying to get this defused. Maybe not. This is going to be so close. Let's see if he's able to get it in time. And no, he just missed it. mouseSpaz claimed the round. And a beautiful 1v2 clutch comes out from Ematic's. Technically only got the 1 kill in the 1v2 clutch, but still impressive in itself. So now for the Flamingos, they do decide to force into this next round, although they've already lost one of their players. Tommy trying to push very aggressively into mid. He's already been knocked out of the round. Max looking for a second kill. Takes him a minute to lock down that headshot, but he does indeed get it. Ooh, and a third one as well. The Flamingos really wanted to fight for mid, and they still do, actually. Tootin going out here into the middle, trying to pick up some kills in his own regard. He got one. However, it was traded back a moment later as they took out Yashoro. Back over here in the B bomb site. So it's basically just left Tootin alive. And he doesn't have much of a hope either. He's got a lot of utility, still the M4, along with a kit and armor. Doesn't have head armor sitting on it, but I mean, still, everything else combined, there's no reason why he wouldn't try to save this massive stack. He's being a little bit lurky right now, trying to move around and find himself an extra frag there, which he does pick up. Problem is now he's revealed the route of his retreat, so everybody else on mouseSpaz is going to go in to hunt him down. They're not doing great on money right now, so they might kind of just back out of the site and hold positions just to make sure that they themselves don't get hunted down. But Sheikh Zula's got a great spot here if Tootin does try to go peeking back into those B hallways and does not look towards this corner here. And I think he has Team Sport too. Sheikh Zula just gets out aggressive though, right out into the open. Finally, Phil Cosby does end it there. It's almost a team ace that time for mouseSpaz. Emadix unfortunately does not get a piece of the pie. But Phil Cosby does sneak in the second kill. Finally takes that player down. However, they make it expensive. Tootin, I think, gets like three kills there. I think he got all 3 kills in that round. So he definitely does his weight and damage before going down, although he does lose, as I was saying before, that pretty big stack of weapons, utility, armor, and even the kit, which he'll obviously not have going into this next round now since they forced previously. And immediately we get into the action again here. 4-man stack over at A. The gamble from the Flamingos, it does not pay off, and this round is essentially already over. The Flamingos are trying to quickly rotate over towards B to compensate for the mistake of trying to stack in one direction, but Rishiro was only able to get one on his own regard with the Deagle in the B bomb site, and not being able to translate more than that is going to make pulling off this 3v4 retake very hard, especially considering that they have compensated for them trying to swing around the rest of the map. And Max, well, he runs out of ammo, so he does eventually end up going down to Johnny Boy there, but Emadix will trade that back just 1 or 2 seconds later before any further damage can be done. And after this save, now the Flamingos can get back into the action, as they do have themselves the op buy from Johnny Boy along with full rifle buys for all 4 other players. Utility is actually looking a little bit light currently. 4 smokes decent enough, yes, but besides that 1 HE sitting on Marky and the Molly on Ushuro, they really don't actually have much. Tootin wasn't able to buy anything at all. So after these guys toss out initial smokes, I mean, you can see they're left with just 2 remaining ones, and they've got that 1 clutch Molly, which thankfully is going to be over on the B-bomb site, which seems to be the aim here. However, it is looking like the guys from mouseSpaz are going to try to throw it in the other direction by faking towards A. Is it working is the question? Well, hell yes, as they've already rotated 1 player off of that B-bomb site, leaving just 1 in checkers, despite both of the players pushing into A, dying almost instantaneously without really any traded damage at all, besides about 50 getting knocked off of Tootin. Now Tommy holds against Max. It doesn't seem, even though this fake was successful, it doesn't seem like the actual follow-up take is being played too successfully either. Look at this. It's down to a 5v2. Tommy just through the vent, scraps himself a kill. Sheikh Zula, the last one alive. He's lost control of the bomb. He doesn't even have any utility to get himself over towards where the bomb is. Great shot onto Tommy to at the very least open up that avenue, but another man is going to move in to take his place in a second. It is going to be the Opera, so he can stay at range safely, waiting for Sheikh Zula to go out into the open to retrieve that bomb, where it is essentially going to be his death bell. And obviously you have that big 3-man stack waiting in heaven and CT main by Tree Room there. So essentially any angle he tries to cross here, he's being smart about it. He is trying to isolate the more obvious 1v1s right at the start. Just not really able to lock down any additional kills. So Rishiro eventually does move in to shut him out and guarantee the 4th round for the Flamingos. So mouseSpaz able to get themselves a nice little 3-round streak there to come back. Unfortunately, the Flamingos do trade it back before they can get a huge amount of rounds going, and they keep the score even for right now at 4-4. And mouseSpaz, I think, are going to go just back to the aggressive style now that they're down to Tech 9s and only 1 AK. Oh, Phil Cosby. He still gets that kill, actually. It looked like he missed the vision of it at first because he went back up from crouching. However, the rest of the plays, nobody's checking over here towards NBK at all, so Tootin is allowed to get those 2 kills for free, essentially, right at the start. Nice up lineup from Emadix, but he misses the shot onto the player at Spindle. Tommy is allowed to escape. He actually might have gotten tagged by, and I might have just missed it. But regardless, he's down at 22 HP now, and Sheikh Zula should, in theory, be able to get the easy kill here. There you go. Takes him down and now leaves it into a 3v2. Along with everyone else on mouseSpaz basically being upgraded to AKs, although flashbang's going in, causing a little bit of trouble here. Thankfully, no one else goes down, and a quick shot from Rematics at the end of it does secure that 9th round. Well, the 9th round, I should say, for mouseSpaz, as they do finally take the lead away here. Taking a look at some of the stats while we're in between, it's looking like the Flamingos are going to go onto an eco here. Quite a front runner for the Flamingos at this point. For both teams, actually, they kind of have a carry, relatively hard carry. Speaking of one of the carries, Pill Cosby, oh my goodness, he's on some land ping there with 7. So he's sitting right next door to the server. 11 and 5, great stuff from him so far. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of things, you do have Teuton sitting at 13 and 6, very far ahead of the next teammates on both of their respective teams. But this round going to go relatively quickly. The Flamingos again tried to play aggressively on their eco round. Just didn't pan out as successfully as some of the previous rounds went. And they lost pretty much everyone without a trade. So mouseSpaz just walked right through that round. And as a result of that, along with the fact that they just reset the Flamingos without them being able to really carry that forward, mouseSpaz is sitting on quite a bit of cash now. Some of the players still low, like Max and whatnot, but for quite a few of the others, you can see that they're 9K, over 9K for Pill Cosby. And Ematic sitting, I think, exactly at that number. Right at the start, once again, as they are still on that eco, the Flamingos try to go out into mid aggressively here. They are still trying to. Losing Tommy right at the beginning. I'm not sure if they saw Marky go inside of the shed or not, but judging from the way that Sheikh Zul is playing it, I would assume that they spotted it, or at least have an assumption that they would go for it. So already being brought down to a 5v4. And really all that's going to happen as a result of these pushes in mid is that mouseSports is just going to slow down a lot, like playing super slowly, making sure that they check all the really aggressive positions where CTs try to sneak off 1 kill. Basically all those very front and center one and done positions. They'll be going in to make sure that they check all of those out before they fully execute onto the site, and obviously check all of those positions too. But despite that, look at this Teuton. 2 deagle shots right on top of each other, traded back by Pill Cosby, and he takes down the 2nd player and the 3rd now, so trades it back in stride to make sure that mouseSpaz stay in control of the situation. All that's left now is Marky, and he's just got that measly little P250, but that thing can do some damage if you can line up the headshots. So he's trying to go out to chase down the kill, and there you go. That was the bomb too. And the next player's going to contest only a 17 HP. 1 tap, and he's done. All of a sudden, this is a 1v1. Sheikh Zula moving in, and that aggressive play. Very ballsy play, granted, but it does work out for mouseSpaz as they're able to save that what should have otherwise been a very easy round for them and pick it up 7-4. And the Flamingos are going to love that, because now this transitions right into their full buy round where they have double ops. So Shoro already picking up that first kill too against Turismo, and then Johnny Boy obviously having the 2nd one. Shoro still under a little bit of pressure because of the action going on over in the B halls, but just as he's taken down by the nade, a 2nd kill is picked up by him. Worth his weight in gold there with that up. Tommy, with the aggressive smoke, he did miss the mark on it slightly. You could see Sheikh Zula snuck past that. Great nades, though. Look at that one. Another one connecting. We had some earlier. And oh, nicely done. Johnny Boy as well across the map, taking out a player inside of checkers there. Now Teuton up on top. Ooh, a little slow to react. I'm guessing Maddox got some kind of a sound cue or something that Teuton had gone up there, or just was intuitive of that happening because he used it in a previous round, because he just walked right up, checked that, and took him down. You could see it. Teuton just didn't seem like he was ready for that at all. So mouseSpaz moving in. They're going to get themselves the nice easy plan here, but not necessarily a nice easy round due to those op kills that were coming out earlier from Wishuro, along with the one that Johnny Boy snuck off in the site. He successfully retreated back into A main, so he still got himself a nice safe position for right now. Problem is, though, is his teammates just smoked him off. So he doesn't, unless there's a gap on the left side, he doesn't necessarily have a great way to go in currently. So this is going to be a little bit weird. Thankfully, the positions mouseSpaz are playing into don't really stop Johnny Boy from going through that smoke. But now Ematix trying to sneak around here as his teammate distracts, and there you go. Ematix lines himself up for the double kill at the end. Great control to pick up now an 8th round for themselves as they double the scoreline that the Flamingos picked up at the beginning of this half, and now are in absolute control going into some of the later rounds here. The Flamingos will have to try and battle it back to end up somewhere around 6-9 or 7-8. By trying to take control of these last few rounds, although the prospects for this one not looking too great, considering that it is an eco. However, we've already seen it. mouseSpaz have been making quite a few mistakes on these ecos, giving away far too many players. So there's absolutely a chance, especially with the amount of deagles in play. We've already seen Teuton and I think Marky was the other one that had a nice little deagle lineup a few rounds back. Shuro, he can hear the scoping, so he's going to line it up right there. And Max trying to look up. I think maybe was trying to check for players that do that boost inside of the site. Oof, but looking away there, big mistake. As Shuro is able to move forward and spot that. And now he's got the op in hand too. No armor behind it just yet, but he can still play behind the truck area or whatnot in the A bomb set itself for the retake. Problem is the take from mouseSpaz went essentially flawlessly. Besides the loss of Max on the other side of the map, and now they're even countering out the flanks and whatnot, so Shuro might just be decisive to try and sit back and save this up for the next round, since he's now the last man alive, and he has this nice little shooting gallery should anyone from mouseSpaz try to move in to contest him here. And there you go, there's one. Sure, he might have a few more trying to move in his direction. mouseSpaz definitely want to try to get that thing onto the ground so it makes the next rounds a little bit easier for them. They can probably rebuy it regardless of if Shuro saves it or not. It's just going to probably limit the utility a tad, and there you go. Turismo finally gets a successful jump out. And without the armor there, you could see Shuro was going to have a lot of trouble actually lining up that shot, so he does go down without an additional pickup there. Pause coming in. I can only assume it's from the Flamingos going into what is probably going to be their last full gun round of the half here, should they lose it. For mouseSpaz, they easily have enough cash to make it through this round and the next one, so I doubt this is coming from them. And as a reminder of the maps here too, this is only the first map in a best-of-3 series. We do still have Cobblestone coming up after this one. This map was the pick from mouseSpaz. Not much of a surprise, as I was kind of explaining earlier. The second map goes over to Cobblestone, and that was the Flamingos pick. Whereas the third and final map, if we do need to play it, is going to be over on Nuke, which will be fun for me, trying to observe and cast that at the same time. I've been doing primarily auto-director, and it's actually been working out okay so far, but there's... Yeah, Nuke's not fun because of that mini-map. We'll see how it goes if we do end up getting over to that third map, which is actually highly likely if mouseSpaz continues forward and takes control of this one. I'm not too sure of how exactly mouseSpaz is going to fare back over on a map like Cobble. They've won versus Jaguar on that match, but as far as I can tell, in the last like 3 months or so, that's their only actual match they've played on that map. So, like I said before, I'm not entirely sure how much that tells about their actual Cobblestone capability. So we'll have to see when we do go over to that map, because of course there is always the chance that mouseSports just swing at 2-0, and they would move forward to play against either, let's see, I just have the bracket. There it is. They're going to play against either Otter, I think it's Otter Esports, or just Otter, yeah, Otter Esports, or Puggers United would be the team that they'd go up against in the round of 8 or the quarterfinals. We may or may not. We're probably going to jump over to one of the other parts of the bracket for the round of 8. By the way, I kind of want to see how the matches shape up first, but we'll have to see how that one goes. This one looked like a little bit more of an even matchup compared to possibly the next one, where mouseSpaz or Miami Flamingos, in my eyes at least, would have a little bit of an edge. So just waiting for the unpause to come in, and then we can continue this match, of course. Like I said, only really this last gun round is all that's left, should the Flamingos lose it, as they'll just force into the last round with whatever they can afford. Some of the other teams that are playing in this event, in case anybody was not curious about it here, we do have Team Liquid. That's the only one of the top like big 3 or 4 NA teams that's currently participating in this event at this point. Sitting behind them, we have the Renegades are also participating in this. The Niles here, CLG Academy is playing in this match, along with Mythic, Rise Nation, EZG Adaptation, quite a few others. X-Pain, the Brazilian team, is also playing in this qualifier too. So quite a few semi-known teams if you follow NA quite actively, especially when you get down to the like premier levels and whatnot. But if not, some of these names might not necessarily be familiar to you in their entirety. Anyway, you might recognize a few of the players. And keep in mind as well that this is one single slot that is open for this qualifier too. So you have to make it all the way through the bracket, including the grand finals, in order to get that qualification spot for DreamHack Masters Malmö. But considering the way that this worked out with a lot of the teams being over in Europe, this is actually probably a pretty good opportunity for maybe a lesser known team to sneak in under the radar. They do, like I said before, have to face off against that giant sitting in the #1 seed position, which is Team Liquid. But if you can beat them, oh my goodness, Max. Just going off in this round. He's already taken down Tommy and Rishuro, and he pretty much just solo took the B-bomb site with those 2 kills. One through a smoke in its entirety. Great pre-fire, and now he just rushes in a tree room too. Max has absolutely 0 restraint in this round. Could take down Marky. I think Marky knows he went into tree room, though. He's going to be checking for it. Or he's aware of that possibility. Is he going to check behind these grates, though? Yeah, he's smart. He goes up on top to look for it, so nicely spotted by Marky. And he does actually go in to check for that one. So finally, the wrath of Max ends for right now. And with one other trade being taken against Turismo, this is actually back down to an even 3v3. mouseSpaz, it's still Pill Cosby back on a mid, too. I think watching for quick mid rotations, but he's going to need to get himself into the site, as this is going to be a fast retake from the Flamingos, as they're low on time, and they need to get back in. The Flamingos, though, not leaving themselves a whole lot of time to move back in. 1-to-1 trade to start it off. Pill Cosby picks up the second, and yeah, Teuton's not going to have anywhere near enough time to pull up that 1v2 and defuse. He does catch an aggressive player from mouseSpaz moving out, but at this point, mouseSpaz have pretty much infinite money when you consider that there's only 1 round left, so that death basically means nothing, as it would have potentially allowed them to get that kill and reduce what's going to be Marky now, I think, down to just like an SMG or something like that, where they otherwise are now going to have an actual AK in their hands. So 4-10 going into the final round. And due to that one save, the buy from the Flamingos actually doesn't end up being too bad. They pretty much all get rifles. Only one player has to completely downgrade to an SMG. Utility is very spread out. Some players able to get mollies, but not smoke. Some players just going for the default kit on smokes. Teuton, oh, that's unfortunate. She gets pegged with a Molotov right at the start. Pretty sure mouseSpaz would have caught on to that too, so they're going to know that there's relatively aggressive mid presence. And now it's all about just planning around it. Taking it nice and slow. Max definitely had a little bit of help that last round, thankfully, because that pre-fire lined up for him in the B-bomb site, and that made the whole round itself a little bit easier, but nicely done on the flashbang, moving back out. Tommy is able to get an aggressive kill. Didn't account very well for the Molotov, though, so it did burn him behind just a moment later. Marky picking up another kill, though, that brings mouseSpaz down to 3, and Max, by the virtue of this smoke, is just barely staying alive right now, as he tries to sneak his way into the site. Is Mashiro going to see it? No, he does not. Max sneaks through the smoke and surprises to allow his team to take control of that bomb site. The Flamingos have already arrived, though, and now they're ready for the 3v3 retake here. Marky already picking up one of the kills. Max just staying out in the open on the mini-ramp. Completely gives himself away. Phil Cosby still has to commit himself to the plant here, too, so that would have potentially opened up room for the Flamingos to push back into the site and start this retake before, really, the bomb even went onto the ground. But the Flamingos didn't react to that one. They stayed back. They stayed passive. And now they've lost that opportunity. Shakezula takes a risk himself into the open, but it picks him up a kill at Tree Room and evens this back out into a 2v2. That molly that was going to put Shakezula into a bad spot, but he still gets the kill. Marky trading one back from up on top. 12 versus 19 HP. Marky commits himself to the site, and Shakezula just wants to play Ringer on the Rosie a little bit, because he's now gone over towards heaven here. The plant's not perfect for it, and Marky can just dive onto this diffuse right now. O's off of it, tries to take this fight. Will lose a lot of time for that, and Shakezula moves in, picks up a 3rd and final kill. Great movement, great positioning from him. Took a lot of risks in that round, but every single time it seemed to pay off as he closes out and guarantees an 11th round for mouseSpaz, as they take what I'm going to call a monstrous lead here on this map with this scoreline coming off the T side. 11-4. Great stuff. And now they just have to make sure that they hold on to it to the CT side. Even just the pistol victory, assuming they don't get immediately ecoed, that is, like that happened in the first half, they're going to be in great shape to try and control this first map. So let's see if they can go 2 for 2 on pistols, as there's going to be no time wasted jumping into the second half here. Flamingos grouping up. mouseSpaz is actually trying to take a page out of the Flamingos book here, as they try to do this same thing. Now, Emadix might have knocked out and spotted his teammate for 100% sure did get spotted. Marky, though, with the great flick and the great reaction, does actually catch Emadix. But Sheikh Zula, again, he's there just when he's needed. Recommits himself to that doorway and is able to trade it back. Unfortunately, it's not going to amount to much just yet, as Ushura was able to take out Turismo back over in those B halls there, but the Flamingos still don't feel confident enough to actually execute, considering that Johnny Boy just walked in and got himself A for free, and also got that beautiful headshot against Max. Split second, as soon as his head popped out from the truck, Johnny Boy pulled the trigger. Ham was able to pick up that kill, so now only 2 remain for mouseSpaz here. Sheikh Zula has been this very clutch player, seemingly made the impossible happen more than once in the course of just a single round. And then Pill Cosby, who was doing great at the start of the first half, but kind of dived off towards the end of it. So we'll see if we can get a little bit more of that him back. No, excuse me. We'll see if we can get a little more of that back from him now that we're back to the start of the half, where he definitely shined before. Tommy holds after we do see one traded back out, and now everything falls to Pill Cosby here in a 1v3. Won't get very far with it at all. Johnny Boy immediately takes it down and does secure a 5th round for the Flamingos. I imagine mouseSpaz will look to try and force their way back into it, though, or at least upgrade some pistols here to try and resist it. So let's take a look-see. Excuse me. All right. So into that round we go, and as I was saying before, mouseSpaz did force in Emadix, along with his teammate, trying to push themselves inside of the squeaky hallway here. They've gotten that control. Problem is there's going to be a whole lot of resistance. The CZ control is not necessarily on point right now, so Emadix does have to bail out of there. And Sheikh Zula moves with him just a few seconds later. But while all that was happening, 2 more players from mouseSpaz were able to move in and take control of A main. So a bit of a risk going for that 4-man commitment on A initially, but it seems to have worked out, and now they've kind of restored it to a much more natural split of players. 2-1-2 across the map. Currently, keeping pretty light presence on B, though, which is going to actually come back to haunt them in a second here. Unless some of them recommit a lot more heavily to this. As even though you have Emadix a little bit deeper in the site now by like head glitch spot, he's only got 7 HP. Thankfully, he's playing from a spot where he's more than likely going to take it down by headshots, but still. Yeah, now he goes back up onto the site. Flashbang hits him right square in the jaw, too, so he's not going to last very long at all. Pill Cosby goes down without a fight either. Max damage that someone gets off there is like 20 or 30. So finally a kill happens. They kill the lurker back over here towards A. Tootin goes down, but I'm pretty sure that's the only kill they're going to be able to consistently get in this round. Everyone else from the Flamingos is locked down tight. So the best hope now for mouseSpaz, considering they don't have any utility, let alone the numbers just to get back into that site, is to do exactly what they're doing now, which is line up outside of these sites and just try to get a few exits for themselves. Sheikh Zula is going to play a little bit further back since he has that ump and still has the armor. So he's going to want to look to try and save that for the 3rd round, where his teammates are more than likely going to have nothing. It at least gives them a little bit of firepower to play up of before they get into that first gun round. And I think Tommy knows Sheikh Zula is back here. Turismo. Oh no, the distraction from Turismo. It works out perfectly. And there you go. Actually, I don't even think that was Turismo. I think that was Pill Cosby. That holds it off, makes them turn around. They look away from the player with the ump, and he just goes off. Nicely done from Sheikh Zula. Gets himself a nice 2-piece right at the end there, and does quite a bit of economical damage to the Flamingos. So the Flamingos moving back into this one, like I said, 6-11. But now look at all the assets that mouseSpaz have here. In fact, I think they forced into it again. Yeah, it looks like it. mouseSpaz buy up everything as they think they're going to be able to contest this, since they have the UMP, they have that AK that they picked up as well, which I didn't even catch that. So they managed to steal an AK too, along with the reinvestment into these pistols, or at least just dropping them over to teammates, and then everybody else buying back in with armor. And now they have utility added into the mix too, so there is a real chance for mouseSpaz to upset this. But this is really aggressive, even with those saved guns. It's still 3 pistols to play off of here, so you got to be very careful. And Emadix, how is he still alive right now? Tommy whipping big time, and now Emadix pushes forward. That's the bomb going down, and he's still alive. He's escaped back into the site, and behind the left spindles there to keep himself in the fight. Finally, they'll lose their first player. Turismo getting into the open, but now a flank's going to move in from Pill Cosby. Tags on a 1. Tootin's almost caught trying to trade out a weapon. Still trying to hold this line too, but the CTs, calm down. You guys don't need to get this aggressive. You have them completely boxed in. That's the one thing mouseSpaz could do to mess this up right now, is overplaying their hand. But they do calm themselves, holding back. And they're going to weight this down a little bit more. They're going to let the Flamingos make the next move here. Because they have a 2v4 advantage. There's no reason for them to get aggressive. They even have them completely boxed in. So now the Flamingos, it's looking like they are going to end up recommitting here into A very, very quietly. And Max does eventually peek back out from checkers there. Goes in for the kill. They've already brought it down to 1. Johnny Boy traded it back, but finally, Bill Cosby can resume his flank to finish off the job. And mouseSpaz complete that upset round. Nicely done from them. It all started off 2 rounds back when they picked up those 3 kills at the end of the round and got the 2 weapons to pick up and carry into the 3rd round here, where they used that to capitalize on their damage, along with some nice 5-7 work from the flank on Bill Cosby there. They picked up a 12th round and have now upset, putting the Flamingos onto just 3 Deagles, 1 P250, and 1 complete save round. And this was, I believe, by choice. They could have gone for a little bit more of a deeper investment, but I think that they're going to want to look to go for an immediate reinvestment in the next round, which is why they bought so lightly here. It's looking like early on the Flamingos are playing into that default stack. A little bit of light on the mid presence here. But I think they are eventually just going to move these guys in. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're going to completely commit to B. It was looking like they were going to try to sneak into A main at first and just go for a straightforward play out onto that site. But now they might be trying something with mid instead. It was a default opener, so essentially no solid plan for the first 30 seconds or so. Just looking for some picks, and well, there's the pick. They take down Max. He's found way aggressively out in the open. Thankfully, they still have a full 2-man commitment up on the site, but the problem is they're playing together, and they're kind of jumbled up, so one good play smoke or Molly would have been able to mess them up. The T's don't have any of those currently, but they've got to be careful of pickups now as they're losing players left and right. Turismo moving in. Oh, that flash could have potentially just opened up a way for Marky to be able to shut that down, but a nice little swish at the end from Turismo on the ump does close out the round. Probably a little bit more damage sustained there for mouseSpaz than they wanted to have happen, but they did indeed close out and are now just 3 rounds away from winning out the first map here, whereas for the Flamingos, should be buying here. There we go. They do finally go for that investment. A little bit late on it, but oh, and they're not going to end up with the greatest buy either. Look at this. 4 AKs, yes, full armor. Johnny Boy is missing head armor. And as far as utility is concerned, well, they have 2 smokes, nothing else beyond that, and flashbangs. So they're going to be looking a little bit weak here, and I think mouseSpaz knows it as they're playing hyper aggressively. Maddox just going straight over to the MP9 and pushing all the way out towards T-spawn. No one's going to be checking for this, or no one should be checking for this on the Flamingos. So he's going to have a free walk in. There we go. He spotted 2. He might have. No, they didn't see him. We sure did not catch him a minute ago there, so he's going to walk right in. Oh, he's right into all their plans, too. So he's not only going to be able to pull off this great kill, but he's also going to be able to communicate exactly what's happening as he's just spotted 2 more players. That's going to change up the game plan now, but he can still play around this and delay them. Smoke getting popped off. He may have to fight against Marky there. They should know he can't really take these long-range fights as well as Marky can, at least. But that is going to pretty much force them into playing into A main here now. But still, not a full rotate over towards this just yet. And there we go. Bill Cosby picking up the first one. That's the bomb going down, too. So they are committed. Tootin trading it back. Bill Cosby getting a second before he goes down. They kept it even from within the site. Sheikh Zula still has himself the op to play off of here, but the T's had enough smokes to get themselves in, and oh my goodness, Sheikh Zula didn't realize that someone had gotten away over there towards Forklift to take control, so that's a big mistake. And now it comes all the way down to Maddox, who dies without even taking the fight against Marky, and the Flamingos do recover from that early flank, which definitely caused a bit of chaos against their favor, and they take control of the round. 7-13 here. And that was not enough of a win streak for mouseSpaz to build up a bank to where they can immediately rebuy into a gun round, so they are just half buying in the 6th round of the half. Very quietly being played now from the Flamingos, as they're just sitting back waiting. And I think after what happened in the previous round, trying to watch out and make sure something like that doesn't happen again. With about 40 seconds going in the round here, they are starting to group up into their actual hit now. But there's a lot of focus on A, and that's where the Flamingos are currently shaping up to head towards. So that's going to be troublesome for them. Oh, Max waiting right outside the doorway there. Toon might go for the chance spray. We'll see in a moment here. Flash is going out, and there we go. That hit Max perfectly, so he gets taken down. There's a player up on Shroud. Doesn't get anything done, though. Nicely done on the execute there. Despite the close-up chaotic stack from mouseSpaz, the Flamingos take him down without any trouble whatsoever. So Ematix and Sheikh Zula are the only ones left alive, and obviously they're not really going to get much done as they're completely detached from all of this. So best hope for those two players is going to be to try and find a couple of exits. Yeah, both of them basically just trying to sit back and preserve themselves, hoping that the Flamingos would get over aggressive and hunting them down. But the Flamingos, as should be very clear at this point, are working off of a fledgling economy themselves, so they do not want to lose additional players either. It's kind of a very respectful post plant for both teams, as neither one wants to take combat here. Sheikh Zula, though, you think he was just spotted at the very end there, but there wasn't enough time to jump onto him and try to fight him. So he makes it out with that little bit of firepower, since his team is still going to be saving coming into this round. Flamingos slowly closing the gap here, though. Now, what started off at a 11-4 half has now turned into a 13-8 half. Fighting back a little bit, but the Flamingos are now only 5 rounds behind. They definitely still need to pick up a few more straight here without allowing mouseSpaz to trade any back before they're going to be really safe. And now is when things are going to get a little bit more interesting. Ematix getting... Oh my goodness, they tag him through it. And now they should know there's a player up on top of the boost. Maybe not just yet, as Max is going to move in, cause some chaos. He's the only successful player so far, but he repeaks with that newly recovered up and gets himself a second kill too. Max's play in A main saves the day of what was otherwise a horribly executed counter boost. The op through the box, shooting out Ematix, and then Turismo, being very obviously realized at that point, still went for the peek himself. Now this is just going to fling the Flamingos over here towards the B-bomb site. mouseSpaz are trying to quick bit of rotate over. Sheikh Zula, not a very successful initial battle on his 5-7. Phil Cosby rotating back in himself, finds the kill onto Ishoro, but Tootin trades that back out. And now Max is here for the 1v2. He's being very loud. Tommy's going to spot this coming from a mile away, take down the last player, and secure a 9th round for the Flamingos. Finally a full gun round, as it does seem like both teams' economies have been kind of biting at the edge, so there's been asterisks on full buy rounds up to this point, but it seems like this is going to be one of the first times in the half where we actually do have full arsenal for both teams. Exception being, I think, an op missing from the CT side, but that's really it. And mouseSpaz already hearing off the shots from Johnny Boy in A main, along with Phil Cosby working his way through on top of that box. This nade, a little bit off the mark. Tommy might have seen an inkling of Phil Cosby, though. Oh, actually, hold on. Maybe not. Ishiro moving in, checks the corner, does actually spot him. So they realize that that's happening there. But Ematix, with his own push in, is able to trade that back. Markey on a great peek, and Tommy, too. Both catching their initial push kills up on top of the boost. Brings us down to a 4v2. Now leaves only mid and A presence alive for these CTs. Max and Sheikh Zula both back over towards the A bomb site currently. And the Flamingos slowly looking to close the jaw on that bomb site. mouseSpaz have the appropriate read on this. They could have taken a risk and just gone 1-1, but it seems like they have enough intel to suggest it's going to completely push into this bomb site. But Max is the only one that can really hold... Oh, nice shot from Tommy. Max, in the meantime, held for 1 kill, but now he's surrounded in a 1v3. An nade popping over. Don't even need it as Tommy closes out on that last kill. But that shot from Tommy, the mid-air headshot, nicely done. That's going to put the Flamingos into double digits here. Now only 3 rounds behind mouseSpaz. Now you can truly say they are back into the game here. We're also going to be another half buy round from mouseSpaz, so there's pretty good prospects for the Flamingos to take control of this one too, assuming they don't make those mistakes that happened a couple rounds back, which led to mouseSpaz getting ahead a little bit. I think that was the only round they've gotten in this half so far, though. Actually, excuse me, no, they got one after that too. But besides those 2 rounds, mouseSpaz has had a pretty poor CT side so far, and it definitely seems like these 2 teams are a little bit stronger on their T sides in general, based on the play that we have seen in this first map anyway. It is just going to be nice and slow once again from the Flamingos. Spread their players out, but still falling victim to that. That's got to be the 3rd or 4th time in the half that someone's gotten a kill over there. And Bill Cosby is going to move into support now. They want this AK. They're obviously being very careful of it for good reason. But similarly to before, every time this has happened, we do have aggression applied to the other site. Great quick shot from Johnny Boy. And that's going to open up a window for these guys to try and move in. Or just a mid to B execute over onto the site. Turismo with some good shots himself. Popping off one onto the head there. Not getting a whole lot of damage just yet. But it does scare them off a few extra seconds here from going into the vents. And is actually going to make the Flamingos suggest going over to the other bomb site now, since they have pulled the attention of most of mouseSpaz. mouseSpaz not really spotting anything from within that bomb site, but what we sure just did might have just thrown it in the other direction. Ematics, okay, gets that kill. The problem is the first kill that Rishiro got just a few seconds before this did basically pull all the attention away from A. So now the Flamingos are still going to walk right into the site. Bill Cosby, though, doing a good job of holding it off. Down to just these 2 AKs. Both have armor supporting it. Johnny Boy with an aggressive peek. Misses a shot. Forced back into coverage. And now down to 50 HP. Bill Cosby got to be a little bit careful, too. Past the flashbang spots. Johnny Boy misses his chance. Now Johnny Boy out into the open. It's actually Tommy and Quad that steals the kill. Knows he's here. Can clutch this out 1v2, and he gets that final kill. Gets it. And in total with 3 kills on the round, mouseSpaz are finally going to get themselves another one, shooting up to 14. Just 2 away now from claiming the first map in this best of 3 set. And that still leaves the Flamingos' economy in an okay position for now. But this is going to buy them down a little bit lower here, and is going to cause things to get a slightly more dodgy heading into the 11th round on the half. At the same time for the mouseSpaz players, since they did go down to just 1 guy, it is going to cause pretty much everyone to completely rebuy going into this round here. So should the Flamingos win, they've got a great reset opportunity again. And that's gonna reset not only the mouseSpaz's, I almost said mousesports, the mouseSpaz's losing bonus, of course, but it's also pretty much just gonna reset their capability to buy here. So they are gonna end up on those half buys or full ecos again for another 1 or 2 rounds here, and that's pretty much going to allow the Flamingos to close the gap, since it's taken mouseSpaz a lot of adjustment to just get these few individual rounds on the CT side. And that's going to be problematic going into a map like Cobblestone, which is our second map here. If issues like that stay in place. Obviously, very different maps. We would hope that mouseSpaz have a slightly different play style for that setup. But that'll be figured out within the next 20 minutes or so. mouseSpaz still in this default lineup of players, when the Flamingos on this round did just decide to go for just your straightforward A execute here now. CT's trying to defend it. Max scared off a little bit here. Doesn't keep his initial quad position, and Bill Cosby trying to fight through the smoke here. He's going to move forward. Max picks up the shot, and Bill Cosby ready to battle it out here too. He'll pick up one into the open with the smoke. Got some great damage in. It's actually Max that closes out on that last kill, and Turismo almost losing himself to the molly there. Went down to 2 HP, but that is a clean shutdown on the site from mouseSpaz. Held, I believe, a 3v5 hold too. We didn't see how many were able to rotate over in time to actually take the fight before the very end of it, but they do fend it off. And now is when the Flamingos, yes, they get themselves all the rifles and armor they need, but they've got smokes for the setup, and that's it. Along with that 1 HE grenade sitting over on Marky. After that one, these guys do not have much to use to actually get onto a site with, so it's going to be very, very dry takes from the Flamingos in this round. As you can already see, both that HE grenade has been used along with one of the smokes, and now the CTs are just shutting it down. Down to 3 here for the Flamingos. Turismo did get dropped over on the CT side, but Max trading it back. He's got a second kill. Does go down to Johnny Boy. You still have Bill Cosby here waiting from within the site. He's going to get a little bit aggressive, though. That could hurt him, but it pays off for now. Sneaks in another kill against Marky, leaving just Johnny Boy alive. He's surrounded, too. As in a second here, you are going to have Ematics Going out towards mid, trying to fight against them, and while the vents are just going to make it very obvious. Actually, hold on, wait. Johnny Boy being a little bit creepy here with the way he's playing this one out. Or a little bit creative, I guess would be a better word to use. Sneaking in, but oh, didn't even see him. Hill Cosby up with the spindle, does take him down. And with that, mouseSpaz is going to shut out map number 1. They will take control of it, and they have now a 1-0 advantage. This is a best of 3. This is not a best of 1, despite it being earlier on in the tournament. We still have more maps to come. This was the map pick from mouseSpaz. I think I keep saying mouseSports, and that's my bad, folks. I do apologize for that. But mouseSpaz do indeed take control of the first map here, so they're up 1-0. And now we're going to go over to our second map, which is the pick from the Flamingos. That's going to be over towards Cobblestone. Should be starting in just a moment, guys. We do have to wait a few moments here for the server to change it up and everything, but as soon as it is ready, we'll be bringing it back to you with that second map. Do stick with us, and we'll be back in just a few seconds, hopefully.